All right. He said he fucked yourself. Oh, we're recording. All right.
Fuck him too.
Okay, I was gonna tell him good luck. I mean, good not starting Haskins, but never mind. Screw him.
Danny is actually in. Is it Rashad Jennings? Rashad Jennings Fantasy Football League, and he made it to the championship. Rashad Jennings of the New York Giants.
Oh, nice! That's awesome because he listens to our podcast, right?
Yep. So he made it into that league, and he's in the championship. So good luck to Danielson.
Good for you, Danny. Good stuff, man. Yeah, except he was going to start Haskins tonight, and you talked him out of it. So good for you. That stupid decision that he was going to make. So he
don't be too premature. Haskins is going to bust out like a 98-yard touchdown. It'll be his only net positive of the whole game.
I will bet my winnings that he won't have a 98-yard touchdown.
Yeah, same.
Okay, all right. But you better split some of the pot with you there, Regan.
I don't think
our tips pushing them to the top of that league.
Oh, they push up hard, I mean, never mind. I'm sorry.
Whoa. This is a family show. It's holiday time. Okay. Be appropriate.
Keep it moving.
All right. We got a lot to get to. No fooling around here. Let's go.
Welcome to Just the Tip, a fantasy football podcast with your tippers, Matt, Disfatt Bidge.
These are just our tips, so take them easy, take them hard. It's up to you.
Ryan, the Tagless Haynes.
Most bizarre Haynes brief that there's ever been.
And Matt, hi, or Regan.
Yeah, I hear you, and I definitely would take the shot on it because you'd be dumb not to.
Coming to you from the heart of New England. Get ready to take some tips.
And I forgot to cue up the background. There we go.
Oh, you're the worst.
Feels good to be back, boys. I missed you guys. You miss a week. It feels like forever.
This guy.
I wish he wasn't here, personally. This guy ruined.
Less to talk about.
Ruined my Christmas. That's what he did.
For not being here or other reasons?
For other reasons, which I'll get to later. Regan, how was your Christmas?
Christmas outside of fantasy football was awesome.
Yeah, okay, yeah. All we do is care about fantasy football here because Christmas, it's in the past. We're moving on. Yeah. It wasn't, but welcome in, takers, to Just a Tip, a fantasy football podcast where we are just going to give you some special tips, some last week of the season championship tips. We'll get right down to business after we fool around, as usual. IR Regan there wanting to fool around with his tips with Danny Boy over there. So they're watching a stellar game Thursday night, December 29th. Titans versus the Dallas Cowboys. So what's the score right now, Regan?
7-0. 7-0. Dallas. Zeke Elliott. Touchdown.
I saw like
you didn't even have to say tonight. You didn't even have to say the team that was winning. We know.
Valid. Yeah, we know. You never know. Block punt. something.
True. And that voice you heard. You do.
This year has been wild.
I'm curious to how many special teams touchdowns there are from defensive because
it
seems like a lot.
Have more defensive points than their offense.
Yeah, Marcus Jones has like 8 return touchdowns, right? Or blocks, punt returns.
Something like that.
Yeah. Receiving. Who could have seen this coming? Then we got Ryan the Tagless Haynes, who is off watching Disney Princesses on Ice. What are you talking about there, Ryan?
He lets his kids at home.
Little Disney on Ice is fantastic, man.
Nice.
Greatest show on Ice.
Nice. And I'm good, guys. Thank you for asking. I'm hanging in there. I'm not
I was afraid to ask.
Not dead yet. Didn't care. All right, cool. We're gonna continue, guys, takers, with our episodes, splitting them up in the YouTube. You can see the chapters. So if you want to skip ahead to a specific start-sit decision or the news or whatever, go ahead, skip ahead. And in the audio, Spotify, Apple, Google, and Amazon podcasts, you can We'll split them up into 3 separate sections for you, so you can get to the juicy tips that you want. We might have to have a little venting session, though, guys. I got some stuff I got to get off my chest.
Little?
Best fantasy football year ever for myself, and only 1 championship appearance. So it's the most important one, though. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm sure you guys have some stuff you want to say too. Maybe an apology, Ryan, for embarrassing.
Oh, I will
me.
never apologize for that. That brought me the greatest joy on Christmas Day. It was a beautiful thing. And this guy, the whole time, we get it through the 1 o'clock games, and Hockenson goes off, and Danny Dimes does his thing, and Max like already admitting defeat.
I'm done.
Jinxing my guys left and right. He's like, oh yeah, you got McCaffrey, you'll be fine. 6 points. You got Jacobs, 5 points. But James Conner came back and he was like, no, fuck this guy. Fuck him.
It's like, put the nail in the coffin.
Yes.
Just bury me alive, please. It can be much less painful. But guys, we got to help some takers out with some championship decisions. And this one, rising up championship week, guys. Do you offer to split the winnings, or if somebody offers to split the winnings, do you accept? Regan?
It's a great question. So I've done this twice in my fantasy past, and it was good at the time, but I kind of regret it because even if I win or lose, I don't consider it a win. It just feels tainted. My brother actually got asked, who I've been helping, and he made it to the championship this week. He's been absolutely killing it. And the guy asked him, and I honestly, this time though, like the other guy's team was looking pretty good. Pretty good. And I was like, dude, you might want to take it. But otherwise, like if it's pretty even, I say don't. I say don't split it. It's more joyful. It's better for yourself to actually get that win and be able to talk that shit, you know, and actually mean it. Because if you win, the other guys are gonna be like, dude, we got the same amount of money. Words don't count then. So
not as much bragging rights, I guess, if you split the pot. Ryan, how about you? You like splitting the pot?
I'm in the same boat. I know who asked you. He's a guest on the show, and he asked me a couple years ago when I won, and I split it. And I'm with Reeks. Like it didn't feel the same, and I won that league, and I was like, why did I do that? It took away some of the excitement. It took a little bit out of the day, and you know, it's a smart decision. It's a smart decision. It just takes a little bit out of it, you know.
Is it the smart decision? I don't know. I haven't made too many smart decisions in my life, but I'm going for it all, Jerry. You hear me, Jerry? I ain't splitting nothing with you. It's my league.
Wow.
I mortgaged my entire future trading my next 3 years of first and second round draft picks for this year. Taking it all. As long as Jalen Hurts comes back. Come on. Prayer circle for Jalen Hurts.
Practicing.
Yeah, I got Minshew anyway. I'll be all right. Definitely not Brady. All right, guys. Let's get into do we want to do the briefs first and then things to note, then the locker? Let's get into Haynes' briefs. Wow, brief. Some news to hit you with.
Sweet sassy molassie.
It's been a busy news week. What a weird, unexpected news week. But the first bit of news is Admiral Hackett, old offensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers, gonna come into Denver. This team's gonna shine. He's got Russ Wilson fired 15 games into the season. Didn't even make it a whole season. Russ is still going to start. That's the plan, it looks like. Yep. And guys, how does this affect the team at all moving forward? Do you think that like all of a sudden they might start turning it up, almost like what we saw with the Jaguars last year after Urban Meyer was gone? Spark of life, something different. I don't know. Is that what we're expecting out of the situation, or just much of the same?
Can't get worse.
It always could, but Even their defense coordinator didn't want to take the interim head coaching job, so their whole team's a mess. Maybe a little bit of a boost if you're feeling frisky, I guess. You can start Cortland Sutton, but I'm really just looking for Judy out of that offense. I'm all set with everybody else.
Yeah, I think right now it's just reliably, it's just Judy at the moment, and that's it.
They're facing Kansas City, right? So it's not like you're starting their defense.
I'd say Latavius Murray, you could probably throw in there. I mean,
yeah, good, because I did.
Yeah, I did too. Especially if you're in like not necessarily PPR leagues, but if you're in a weird league like I am, where you get like quarter point per carry, or if you're just looking for a volume play, Latavius Murray is going to be a decent option.
Especially a team that packs it in. There you go.
Yeah, they're talking about getting some familiar faces for Russ in the coaching department, so I'd like to see how that goes.
I'd like to see them get rid of Russ, to be honest with you. Look for new faces in the behind the center.
Brock Osweiler's vacant.
He would have played just as good as Russ this year.
Probably.
He would have been the same. 51 points to the Rams last week. I was in shock. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Anyways, TJ Watt, the great TJ Swat, set to retire after the season. Any reactions to this?
Not at all.
Great player, great career.
Yeah, great career.
Passes.
Yeah, I thought he still had some stuff left, some juice in the tank left, but I guess Arizona just really sucks to play for too, so he just wants out.
He's getting old. I'll tell you what, ever since like that Houston AFC divisional matchup against KC where they were up 24-0 and they blew the game, that was everything was downhill for like anybody who was affiliated with that team since.
Yep.
Derek Carr out for the remainder of the season. They're choosing to give Stiddy a chance. Jarrett Stidham is going to be the starting quarterback moving forward. Derek Carr is no longer with the team for the rest of this year. And the outlook on these players, guys, I think my risque sit this week is Josh Jacobs.
No.
It hurts, man. It hurts. My guy. I love him so much, but this is not looking good for him.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Jared Stidham checks down to the running backs 25%.
I know.
So
I kept him in. I'm just thinking that it's full point PPR. I'm like, all right, I'll let it go. Standard leagues, though, if it's standard, Mac, I don't think I can play him. I don't think.
That's a good point.
We might have some other options for you. Stay tuned for Sexy Flexy in part 3. But what about Adams? Regan, I know you're a huge fan. I don't know if I could trust him.
So the whole thing right here, Derek Carr, they're benching him because he needs to be able to pass,
the physical
at the end of the season, or the Raiders owe him $40 million guaranteed. So they're benching him for 2 weeks so they don't owe him $40 million off the bat. Devontae Adams, like you asked, is backing him still on Twitter and whatnot, which is great. They're good friends, but I also don't think he wouldn't mind if he left. The problem is Derek Carr, he's a decent quarterback, but he's never had a team with a good defense. Never. The Raiders always have holes on D, and look at Tom Brady. He's played on great teams with great defenses. The only reason why they were great teams all around is because the defense got the other team off the ball, off of offense, had the ball way more. Like that's just what happens.
Derek Carr is always kind of given me the perception of like a quarterback that puts up a decent amount of fantasy points, but never will win you a big game. He'll never get the ball in the fourth quarter, drive down the field, punch it in with 45 seconds left, and just do that consistently. He's not.
That's a good point.
He's not that good. And Devontae Adams, as far as this week, Mac, I think you got to play him. And I think that's why I said Josh Jacobs might be a risk case bench. I think you got to play him too, and that sucks. I think this is going to be almost like a Jaguar situation last week where you had one guy who put up some points and the other weapons didn't. And I feel like that's what's going to happen here. It's either going to be Waller gets a ton of checkdowns and he puts up a surprising amount of points and Adams isn't as involved, or Adams is more involved, Waller is not, or like Hunter Renfrow might come out of nowhere, have 12 targets in the slot, have 10 receptions, and the other guys are invisible. So it's like, I don't know.
That's a risky start right there is Renfrow.
Yeah, it's gonna be Mac Hollins if you want to boom play. It's gonna be him.
Yeah.
I heard rumors of them benching other vets too. So just to keep them healthy. So keep an eye out for Adams. Follow us just a tip FFP. We'll let you know if we hear anything as well.
Last bit of news here. Taylor Heineke. He's also not starting.
Dumb.
He will be the. I don't like it. Carson Wentz is back in. He's the number one. I think for Terry McLaurin, this is terrible news because him and Heineke were putting up some decent numbers consistently for the last 7 weeks or so.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of off the Terry McLaurin bandwagon this week. But Brian Robinson, Mac, what do you? I feel like he's an okay option this week.
Brian Robinson, great option against Cleveland. I like it. They're not going to put the ball too much in Wentz's hands, right, Regan?
Yeah, well, the whole thing about Antonio Gibson on the other side is he had some practice in 2 days. Wednesday, there was little concern to his injury. It's a foot and knee injury. But he's still not at practice on Thursday. So Brian Robinson sounds pretty nice at this point, if you ask me.
They had their other running back taking some reps too in the last game, so I just don't think Gibson is great. Terry McLaurin, though, when he did play with Wentz back at the beginning of the season, he did have some bust games, but there was other ones where he was like 14 points, 12, 16 points as well. So you probably won't get into the 20s, but he's still an okay wide receiver 3.
Right. And the difference is that the 12, 14, 16, that's what he was getting every week with Taylor Heineke. And now, instead of getting that, that it could be a miss. His floor is down and his ceiling's about the same.
We'll get into the rest of those wide receivers later in part 3. Anything else in the news there?
No, it's pretty sad. It's sad news.
You are fake news.
All right.
That was real. It's true.
It was all real news, all real factual stuff. All right. Guys, we got to give some takers. They've reached out with some questions, so figure we'd share some notes just to keep in mind heading into the finals. So real quick, Regan, what do we got?
Yeah, so a couple of them. I literally told the guys today, necessarily there shouldn't be risky plays. So we're not going to have that segment today, but you're going in with the guys that you have been running with. If you've been running these flex by now, you probably have a flex you've been using in general, unless there's some crazy injury or something like that, which is possible. But in general, you're going to go with your guys. Don't be crazy unless you are going to lose projected wise, like by a lot. Like I'm talking like 30 points. Stay strong with your team. You've been riding with them for a while. Another one is if you are in a dynasty keeper, pay attention to this. If they lock after the championship, meaning your roster's a lock, go check the waiver wire. Go see if there's some IR guys, a couple out guys maybe for this week or something like that. Go see if there's somebody that you can just stash on your bench for next year. If you can keep them for next year. I honestly, no real big names come to mind, but it's a possibility. There could be somebody out there that you just haven't noticed. So I always say, just go check just in case. And the other one is that
Regan, just a spin-off kick flip, ollie off of that. See who don't drop anybody either. Like just because Christian Watson, we're going to get to in the hurt locker, but if his hip injury, he doesn't play this week, don't drop him. That's a late keeper for you. Stuff like that. Even if you are going into the championship, unless you absolutely need to drop him for a player you have to play this week. Just stuff like that. Don't just drop just because they're injured.
Awesome.
Not just look to pick them up. Sorry.
Right. No, and then a chip right off of that one, Mac, is my last one. And that was to drop the players that you've been flexing, like some random guys in general. Like, I don't know. Say you've been
Latavius Murray here.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Say you grab one of these guys that you're really not using a lot, especially for, obviously, I know tonight's game's a little bit different, but if you're worried about somebody you have going Monday, drop your guys for the on Sunday before they play. No one can use them, which is great. You can grab somebody as a flex. What I'm saying is don't have trash on your bench if you need somebody possibly later on. This is the last game. You literally can get rid of everyone. No one's carrying over, obviously, unless it's a keeper league. Keep that in mind. But
you know me, big fan of holding multiple defenses and playing the matchup. So hold on to that one defense. Drop those. Get rid of that. Yeah.
Go grab somebody's backup that might be a good starter or something like that. Or in general, there might be somebody out there. This is just something to keep in mind. Don't feel like you got to keep your whole team, because this is the last week. This is the whole enchilada, as some say.
Get guys that had the biggest upside for next season. Young rookie talent into their second year. Stuff like that. Not the old timers like Cordell Patterson. Or a quarterback that you're not going to keep. You don't need extras. Anything else?
That's pretty good.
I've had Cordell Patterson for 2 years, and it has been a pleasant surprise in some of these dynasty leagues. It's just like, yeah, it's been up and down, and you knew it would be, but it's for what I had to give up to get him, which was nothing.
Yeah,
he's been great. I love him. But Reeks, to your point about stick with the guys you've been playing with, be consistent, don't get too cute, all of those things. I find that, like if you're a team that, you're not, riddled with injuries and you have just kind of powered through in the playoffs to get to this point, stick with the same guys, stick with the same repertoire. But I'm finding that in the leagues I'm in, it's like a waiver wire team and a power team, right? The waiver wire team, those are the guys who are like, oh my God, who do I pick up today to make this magical run continue to happen? Or like I'm facing a guy in the championship right now, the guy who I beat Mac in this league to get to the championship. And he was like, I'm just playing Packers. I'm going Packers against the Vikings. He's got 3 Packers in right now, and that's his strategy. And so there's still teams that need our advice. There's still teams that need us to get those like risque starts.
True.
And we'll be like tossing them in throughout the show. But Packers against the Vikings, all of their players.
I just love how Ryan brought that up, that he beat you, and it did not need to be said at all.
Just had to slide
back. Need to be said.
Just in the home league,
home
league, 13 years. Oh, beautiful, man.
Have you ever won your home league, Ryan?
I have, yeah.
Oh, damn.
We have the same amount of championships in that league. And Reeks, Mac had 200 more points than anybody else during the season?
Yeah, that's actually
true.
Even matter. He was so good.
It just didn't matter. It didn't matter. All right. Anyways, what's next?
Look,
with all due respect to everyone, fuck everyone.
Perfect. That was the best one.
All right, let's get to the injury report, the Hurt Locker.
Ah! 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 Ah!
Alrighty, boys, this is the Hurt Locker. It's gonna feel like a lot, and it's gonna feel like a lot is pushed in one of like those half lockers. Like this is bad. It's rough.
Do you need extra ice?
No, Mac. Have you ever had a locker? Football locker. All right.
Yeah, it was right next to yours too.
It was. Oh man. All right. Anyways, let's get into this. I'm gonna run through these guys, and then we can just talk about a couple. So bad news, obviously, Mac right off the bat, Tua concussion, won't play versus New England this week. If they win this week, I expect Tua not to play again because they're going to have the playoffs locked up. So that's
they
gonna be
need
a playoff
Jets.
thing.
They still need Jets to lose, though. It won't be locked up. If Jets
Stay,
win,
yeah, the Jets.
then it'll be a playoff game in Week 18. So
Spoiler: I picked the Jets to win. Lamar Jackson knee injury remains out still. It's been weeks. This is horrible. Raheem Mostert, another one, limited today. At least he, finally got out there yesterday. He did not practice at all. Ryan Tannehill had surgery. He's out for the rest of the season. Placed on IR today. Latavius Murray did not practice Wednesday. I do not know his status for today. It did not come out yet. Denver has not thrown that out there.
It was just a rest day. They came out.
Okay, great.
Rest. Yeah, so he's good.
Aaron Rodgers' knee did not practice Wednesday, so I believe he did practice limited today. Taylor Heineke, we already mentioned he will be the backup. He's not starting. Antonio Gibson, like I said earlier as well, foot and knee injury, not a big concern supposedly from the coach on Wednesday, yet he did not practice today as well. So a little nervous. I hope you're not playing him anyways, but it's more of a Brian Robinson plus. Stephon Diggs' illness did not practice. Christian Watson was said that he was going to practice on Wednesday, did not practice. Said he was going to be practice on Thursday, but he did not. So he has not been at practice both days with a hip injury. This is concerning when they said that he was going to practice. So obviously it's lingering. Another one is James Conner not practicing for the second straight day with an illness. That's rough as well. Usually I don't think there has been one player this year that has been marked with the illness, at least the stud guys, that hasn't played. So I think you're probably good to play him, but just keep an eye out. Obviously, it's championship week. It means a little bit more.
If for some reason he doesn't go, you can put Keontae Ingram in. It's okay. Play him. Like they get good matchup. Falcons are a bad defense. They're going to use Ingram. Play him.
They got to run.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Risky start for Ryan. Perfect. Good. The good side, really not much. Tyler Lockett, hand. Obviously, he had surgery on his finger 2 weeks ago. He did everything he needed to in practice yesterday on Wednesday, but today he only did the walkthrough on Thursday. I'd be nervous to play him in general. Do you guys agree? We'll talk about that after. Deebo Samuel's participated in an early portion of practice today. There was a chance that he was going to practice yesterday. There is a chance that he still plays this week, but kind of up in the air. And I've also be nervous about playing him. Irv Smith, he's been activated or going to be activated off IR. I only threw this in there just because Ryan was high on him. Enjoy, dude.
Not this year or last year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good point. Either way, Mike White practiced in full today, so he's been fully cleared off concussion, and he has been called or given the starting role going forward. Jalen Hurts, shoulder, limited practice, which was huge today. So that's awesome news. The thing is, I just don't know if he's still going to play in general. So I wouldn't expect it. And Miles Sanders did not practice Wednesday, but he did practice today limited.
Well, that's good.
Guys, I guess the only one I want to ask you guys about is probably Christian Watson and Tyler Lockett, Deebo Samuel. I think all the other ones are kind of self-explanatory for the most part. Christian Watson, if they say he's a go, are you guys nervous about, missing 2 days? Are you going to play him still? And then Deebo, I'm worried about playing Deebo coming off, I believe it was a hamstring injury.
Yeah, they have Vegas. They don't need him. They're going to win. So perfect. I expect him to be held out. Watson and Lockett, if they're active, I'm playing them. I'm flexing them.
I would agree with that.
Because Geno needs Lockett out there. We'll get to that when we do our QB starts and sits, but he definitely needs Lockett. And then Watson, just such a juicy matchup against Minnesota.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And Watson's been the guy. So if he's on the field, you got to get him in.
Yeah, it's true.
Even if we saw what Romeo Doubs did with, less than 50% of snaps. If Watson does less than 50 and he's only in there on goal line packages and stuff, where he doesn't have to run too much or have too much contact. Yeah, exactly. Another 2 touchdown game from Watson. Let's go.
There you go, buddy. So that concludes it. Keep an eye out. Obviously, there's going to be more that comes out. Be careful of these illnesses too. Like I said, I haven't seen anyone not play this year, but just pay attention because that's pretty nerve-wracking.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Thank you, Regan. Make sure you follow us, Just a Tip FFP, to stay up to date with any other injuries and our audible tips, our tips that go a different angle from what we might suggest on this episode, because we're recording Thursday night. A lot can happen from here to Sunday, so we might pivot. So make sure you follow us and keep up to date. And Regan, okay, tell him to get out.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Up?
There's a lot of news. It's true. The market is becoming saturated.
All right, guys. Like we said at the top, we need to get some stuff off our chest here. Instead of some risque starts and sits, we're just gonna reflect on pretty much the season, the playoffs. So here we go. Tippin ain't easy. Tippin ain't easy for the last time this season.
All we do is sit around here and guess what a bunch of little pricks are going to go and do out there. Then we come back at half time and we complain because they didn't do exactly what we thought they'd do.
All right, who would like to go first here?
Oh, I'll just go. I'll just bang it out.
Go ahead.
Ready?
Yeah.
So it's vent sesh, right? Full go and say anything I want.
You want some background music? You want
Oh yeah, you can play whatever you want.
You want some eye candy? You want some eye candy? There you go. There's some eye
Ooh,
candy.
all right.
All right. Background music it is. Let's go.
Man. Background? No?
Coming, maybe. Just go. Go.
This dude. All right, Cam Akers, guys. I talked him up so much, was all excited about it. My cousin asked me to join this league this year. My team is killing it. I made a great trade.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not the type of music you're looking for.
I was like, why is Ryan laughing? I was like, oh. Either way, Cam Akers absolutely demolished me in my championship game. And of course, I went against him 34 points. Absolutely horrid. Tagless, Haynes, and myself, I hate both of us for saying Goodwin was a great play. He got me 0 points. It definitely helped to my loss in my one league. The same one with Cam Akers, Stephon Diggs. Thanks. 4 points. Thank you so much. Been doing
that was a goose egg, Mac. That was a goose egg.
Yeah, that was.
That's not how I thought it was going.
Oh man!
Wow, just taking tips, right?
I mean, I guess the same. Marquise Goodwin. It's one or the other.
Yeah,
right? It's the same thing. It's synonymous.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna screen and caption that later, Mac.
Definitely making a GIF out of that.
So yeah, beautiful. So Stephon Diggs was part of the trade that I made to get in this league, and he absolutely 4 points. Thanks so much, TJ Hockenson, a guy I absolutely love. I've been talking him up for all year. I have him in like every league except for one league. And of course, the one league I didn't have him. Somebody else did and scored 37 points versus me. And then last off, Mother Nature can go suck a D because, yeah, exactly. Because she screwed a lot of games up for us this week. It was rough. Sorry, you guys did so much background stuff. I feel like I vented, but I'm happy.
we distracted you a bit.
Trying to make you feel better.
All right. Well, you nailed it. I'm good.
Good.
This year has been the worst.
Those players, man.
By the way. You're killing me. Yeah, you're killing me because this is the first time since 2010, I believe, that I'm not in a championship.
Wow. Bro.
Yeah, since 2010, my first league I ever did, I won the championship, and from there on out, every league I was in at least one championship. Wow.
Yeah, it sucks, man. Well,
I hate to admit it.
Could be worse. I mean, that's fine. You had a good streak going. You had a good run, 12 years.
That's a long time.
That's not bad. And you had some great tips, man. Part of your bold predictions I want to highlight. This is actually like speaking of like first seasons in a while, that Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey played every single fucking week this season.
Wow.
And you called that they would be both top 5 running backs. Are they top 5?
Very close.
Both top 5? They're very close.
They're in the top 10. I'm happy because it's
They're-
bold.
They're in the discussion, man. So, it's even Cam Akers. He let us down and stuff, but then
That whole
all of a sudden
team did,
decided
though,
to come.
so.
Yeah. I did call that, though.
Yeah, you
Huge Super Bowl hangover. I also said the Bengals would too, but that didn't work out. But yeah, it's Tippin ain't easy, man. It's okay. It's okay that you didn't make any championships there.
That's not when I have my own podcast I do with you guys. It's horrible.
Don't fuck with me, all right? Don't
3 leagues. I won pick
I
'em.
do it.
I tried setting it up.
Good.
He
No,
talked
I'm
all
talking
over
over
it.
You didn't even hear it.
He
It's not
hates
your
that.
fault, Reeks. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
All right, Ryan. I think you should vent next if you got something. If
I had a
not,
great weekend. I had a great year,
He
great
didn't.
weekend. I made 40% of my championships. Talk to me next week. If I win 40% of my leagues, then I'll be in good shape. But no, I'll tell you what. I was in 3 semifinals. The one I lost was by far my best team, and it was the Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs connection. And then I just sprinkled in a little Tom Brady in there against Arizona, and that was a bad matchup. But 2-1, 2 championships. Made all 5 leagues, all 5 playoffs. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good.
oh, man, I made 5 playoffs too.
I said bench Latavius Murray last week too. That was a good call.
Yeah, good.
And I play Singletary and bench Cordell Patterson, and they were absolutely awesome calls. But you don't see me bragging.
You should.
that
was your chance.
I said during the live session to play Jahan Dotson, and he was going to go off against San Fran, and
Which I did not believe you.
So, hey Ryan.
First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face.
I think he was doing that earlier.
He was doing that earlier. All right, takers. I need to be honest with you, and you tippers, my fellow tippers. It's been a great season, helping you takers out. Questions every single day. I don't mind it. Keeps me busy. Keeps me honest. Like, what would I do in your situation? And you, fellow tippers, it's been fun, except with Ryan. Not fun at all. All these tips I have taken from you two and myself alone for hours and hours, researching, game planning, and training for fantasy football all off season to come down to this. A little bit of reading, not too much. 6 out of 8 leagues. 6 out of 8 leagues, guys. I make the playoffs. 3 of those were the first round bye, so I'm looking pretty good. First in points 4 in those as well. So what could go wrong? In our home league, the league that had been in the longest, Ryan's league, I'm averaging 132 points per week. What could go wrong? Well, you know what could go wrong is going up against Hockenson. Having DeAndre Hopkins just 1 catch for 4 yards, Hopkinson. Oh, my God. DeAndre Hopkins, 1 catch out of 10 targets. Are you kidding me? Half of them weren't even catchable, so whatever.
I had that popcorn.
Still almost won the game.
They still did. But I can't even crack the 100-point mark versus Ryan. So, this is basically how it went, to show you watching on YouTube. A little bit of hand slapping, a little bit of fighting like that, like those kangaroos there. And then it was over.
Heavy.
Very top heavy. Hockenson
going
just
legs.
destroyed me. Stevenson couldn't do anything. Mostert couldn't muster something up. Tua has to suck in the second half. Nothing I
Danny
could have done.
Dimes. Danny Dimes, 22 points, baby.
Best matchup, play the matchup, man. It's not the horses that you took in the draft that always win it for you. So
championship in that league is Brock Purdy versus Mike White this week, baby.
Oh yeah, and on the other side, he gets BS lucky. Jared -1 point with Nick Foles, but somehow he makes the championship round with 85 points. Get out of here! I hate football.
You know what I thought of this week? I'm like, I wanted to send a message out to everybody, like, because of how embarrassing that other semifinal was, we're just gonna have a rematch of the other semifinal and call
That's
that.
what it should have been.
Agreed.
Should have been, unless they could put up enough points to beat us both, then they can have it. Fine, but...
sure.
In my other league, real quick, cruising along. 2 losses all year, averaging 157 points.
Whew.
I've talked about this league too many times. If you've been listening, you know it. And I lose to the stoner kid who's drafted and literally asking before he picks a player, hey, is this guy good? Is this guy good? Yeah, Mahomes, Devontae Smith, DJ Moore, and Jahan Dotson decided to go off that week and beat me. And there was literally nothing I could do. I could have made it closer, but Justin Fields sucks. But Jared Goff on my bench with like 34 points. But no matter who I started, I would have lost by 5 points. Did all the math, and it's torture.
I hate
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Don't do it, Takers.
Did he watch your live show? Did he was like, I gotta play Dotson.
He might have. Ethan, did you?
You just called him a stoner kid. He doesn't
That's
watch
just
it.
insult to injury.
It's very insulting, but I am in one league, our dynasty league, where I have mortgaged the future. So this is it for all the marbles to break even with all my buy-in money.
I am not breaking even.
Nope.
Oh man.
Yeah, you're playing with house money though. You're fine.
That's true. What a lot.
All right, and that is our rants, our risque starts and sits, or Tippin ain't easy segment. It's been a hard
I'm
life.
buying myself an Eddie Pinheiro jersey.
You always have the most obscure jerseys, you weirdo.
Nobody knows who that is.
Especially you can get a Disney
He's the
on Ice
kicker
jersey.
for the Panthers. If anybody should know who it is, it's you, Mac.
I'm talking for the Takers. Nobody knows.
That was.
All right, guys. Let's say we get down to business with some starts and sits, some sexy flexy time. Quick note to you takers out there. We won't be on next week, I don't think. I'll be away in Jamaica. I don't know if you guys are going to be on. But week 18, you won't have your championship finals. If you are listening and you do a week 18 championship final, you suck.
Yeah,
Talk about my victories.
I might pop on and throw some stuff out to the takers.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll come back the week after, right before the actual NFL playoff starts, because we are going to do a tip-off of fantasy football. If you takers want to join in, you are welcome. We'll put the link in the description to the league to be invited in, and you set your lineups, and you can win this. A free t-shirt. Look at that. Just in time for next year's Christmas.
I want that M stocking instead.
Yeah. You want that? I'll make
you
that.
couldn't let me just trim everything out. You spaz.
I'd want the gold stocking holder. That's what I would.
Yeah, ooh. Dude, those are actually super expensive.
I couldn't afford to pay you another hour to trim that out, Regan. You do too much with all the graphics. No.
24.
Oh my god. All right. Sexy flexing time, guys. Enough. Get down to business. Some starts and sits. So
run through it.
All right. I can't run. Sorry. Can I push? Can I push through? I'll push through.
I know you can do that.
Takers, just a tip, FFP. If we can help you out, feel free. Send us a DM, tweet at us, whatever. We'll try to help you out. QBs, guys. Yep. Danny Dimes. Sure. Go ahead. 64% rostered. He's been a top 12 QB 4 out of the last 7 games. But Ryan, he has the Colts. They're dealing with some injuries in the defensive backfield. But they could just run all over the Colts. The Colts are tanking. They're starting Nick Foles, who's throwing 3 picks, 7 sacks. They don't care.
It's a lot of time possession.
Okay, should be, but a lot of running. Do you think Daniel Jones is still going to get you that 20-point mark?
I do. I think Danny Dimes can be Danny Duke.
Danny Quarter?
Danny dip, dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge, and get you 50 rushing yards, 60 rushing yards.
All right. Danny 50 cents. All right. Cool.
And it's like Hodgins, man, seems to be his go-to guy. And yeah,
he is. Dimes. He is. Richie James, though, a sneaky start against this backfield, this defensive backfield. So I like him. Jared Goff, though, this is the guy I really want to start. Remember my bold prediction that he'd be top 15 QB? Yep. He is number 9 on the season right now, guys. He is 65% rostered. So if you need a QB, you're relying on Hurts and you didn't get Minshew, okay, you got to get Jared Goff. He might be out there. Hoping Fields on the other side makes it a competitive game. If he is injured, though, I'm not liking this too much because I'm hoping that Chicago scores points just like Carolina did to make Jared Goff go off. So that's what you're hoping. Even if Fields doesn't play, I'm still going to start Goff. But, guys, would you like to start Mike White at Seattle?
Absolutely.
All right. He's 15% rostered. He had his finishes 6-7, then 22. That was at Buffalo. Yeah. And the weather, too, right?
Yep.
Seattle, much easier matchup to run against.
Decent secondary.
They are, but they can be beat.
Oh yeah,
through the air as well. And he's gonna pass. He's gonna pass a lot. So Garrett Wilson, still start him up and everything. I see a lot of questions on that. That talent, a competitive game. They're trying to get into the playoffs. They need to win, both teams. So that's why this is the matchups I'm targeting. Teams that have something to play for, especially my flex spots or quarterback streaming options. So, who do you want? Mike White, Goff, or Daniel Jones? Regan.
Mike White, Goff, or Daniel Jones? I like White. No, I like Goff, Daniel Jones, White. Nope. Jones, I like White. Goff. I like Goff, White, Daniel Jones.
Okay, Ryan.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same order, but I like all those guys, to be honest with you. Throw them all in. I think they get you 18+ points.
Yep. You can't go wrong with them, and they're widely available. Mike White the most. But yeah, Jared Goff, top 5 QB this week. Calling it.
Yeah.
All right.
I like it. Yeah.
Tier 2 home. Guys at home versus Chicago. Yep.
Yeah.
Just how we thought it would happen. Tier 2 guys, can we trust these guys? Justin Herbert, he's been sucking at home versus the Rams. You probably, if you started him, you probably didn't make it. So maybe talking to one of you takers out there. Oh, sorry, Regan. 25th and 30th finishes, guys, at the QB position. That's like
the 1
2
year
spots out of last. Terrible decision.
I'd rather play one of those other guys, to be honest with you. And definitely playing Keenan Allen because he's fantastic.
Yeah. Shut up. All right. What was that? Billy Madison. I was trying to impersonate Adam Sandler there. Anyway,
that was horrible.
I did. I didn't want to yell into the mic, and I wasn't backed up far away. And I was trying to read.
All right. Excuses.
Anyway,
I want to hear your best Sandler impersonation at maximum volume, and then we'll let you know how that goes. Just sprinkle it in at some point.
I can't. Right. I was going to say I can't do it on command. And probably can't at all, but we'll try later. Stick around for that, takers. Oof, it is week 17 for sure. It's been a slog this season. All right, guys. Eckler dealing with some injuries, so you might not steal all the touchdowns away. So I am okay starting Justin Herbert, going with the, I guess, elite fantasy QB. He has been in the past, so hoping that comes back. Question from Jadis, though. He's debating Minshew with the stack with A.J. Brown and Miles Sanders, or does he go with Herbert?
Minshew.
Because he doesn't have Jalen Hurts. So if Jalen Hurts plays, obviously you're going with Herbert, but
the
Hurts
crappy
is out.
thing is with A.J. Brown and Miles Sanders. A.J. Brown has been practicing but limited. He has a full sleeve on his leg. Miles Sanders did not practice yesterday, I believe, and limited today. Miles Sanders, like you said, has been rough of late. But I still like Minshew. I think he has the running ability. You're going to get a couple more points. Possibility of a rushing touchdown over Herbert. I think Minshew's the way to go.
I would probably. I hesitate to go Minshew there. I do. I think Herbert, like, off games aren't going to happen all that frequently, and the Rams are also a bit beat up and have nothing to play for, and they're playing hard like they are, but I don't know. I'd probably go Herbert in that situation.
The Chargers can still go up in the standings as well, and Eagles, if they still have a chance next week, they're facing New Orleans, so it is a bit tougher of a matchup, and they're the best team against tight ends too, so I'm kind of scared for Goddard. But side note, but yeah, Herbert, he could get you third.
Ryan, by the way.
Okay, great.
What bet?
Minshew over Herbert.
Okay.
Do you want in?
Well, I guess part of that too was like, I don't know if I love having like Minshew, AJ Brown, and Miles Sanders. I think you got to like diversify a little bit. So I feel like in that sense, if you're not going to bench Miles Sanders, I think you got to play Justin Herbert.
It does show that if you do the stack with the quarterback, you do get a slight edge. But if that quarterback sucks, you're in for a rude.
Yeah, but what if you have the running back? Like whatever touchdowns Minshew is throwing for, Sanders isn't getting.
Check downs, keeping the drives going.
Yeah,
it'll be okay.
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah,
it's a slight edge, like 52 to 48.
Sanders isn't a PPR guy. So if it was like Herbert, Eckler, Mike Williams, or Herbert, Eckler, Keenan Allen, hell yeah, I'm playing all three of those guys. But like Miles Sanders, because he's so touchdown dependent, I don't know if I love that.
All right, so bench Miles Sanders.
That's worried these guys because they don't need to play.
Yes,
and they're both
do.
Hurt.
But they have the draft pick of the New Orleans Saints too, so they want them to have a worse record. So there's a little bit of motivation there. Oh, and motivation too. Geno Smith, guys, versus the Jets. He's going to go against them. He's not doing too well. Geno Smith, as of late, he's dipped from his 300 passing yards and multi-touchdown games past 2 weeks, guys. 15 and 13 points. So he needs to score touchdowns. We were saying Lockett is the key. Hopefully he plays. He's the key.
Definitely will help.
But New York,
I see what you did there.
Yeah, Jets defense, guys. They haven't let up multi-passing touchdowns for like 12 weeks, or I think it's since like week 3, something like that. It's insane. So Justin Herbert, Geno Smith, who are you going with? Justin Herbert, I think he can get you over 30 points.
I like Herbert.
I don't think I think Minshew's ceiling is capped. Herbert can get you the 35 points. I don't think Minshew can. So I would start Herbert probably over all these guys because Geno going against the Jets. Revenge game. We've seen quarterbacks with revenge games. They don't do too well. So I'm a little nervous to start Geno.
He needs Lockett, and not only does he need Lockett, but he has had no time to pass the ball whatsoever.
That's true.
The last two games have been terrible.
Yeah.
So if you've watched them, he's under pressure immediately.
It's a bad spot then against this defense. So let's look at this guy. Aaron Rodgers facing Minnesota. Not much available. So hopefully if you have him, I would start him. Minnesota at home. Best wide receiver and QB matchup there is in the league right now. But he hasn't finished in the top 12 since week 10 versus Dallas. So is that going to change this week? Aaron Jones also hurt, so they might need a pass more.
Yeah, that Minnesota sucks. Their secondary. Aaron Rodgers is the go.
Yeah, I'd probably play Rodgers. I mean, if Watson's going to be out, I'm a little concerned, but it doesn't sound like he's kind of trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm playing Rodgers, and
Even
right
so.
now I have the guy I'm playing in the championship for. He's got Alan Lazard, Christian Watson, AJ Dillon, and Mason Crosby all going. Got 9 players in this league. Got 4 of them in that game. I'm like,
So
Minnesota, just show up. Just show up one game.
I
That's
should
all
drop
I
Aaron
need,
Rodgers.
please.
You're just hoping for a blizzard. Don't do that. That is collusion. Can't do that. No, you're just volunteering it. All right. Sits guys, Jahan Watson at Washington. He might have looked okay in the storm. A lot of people saying, oh, they missed the catches. Don't do it. No, not risking it. Sam Darnold, been pretty good. Nope, not doing it in championship round.
A championship round.
Brock Purdy, guys. He's been better than
Play him.
QB 18. He has Las Vegas. Not much to play for, though. If Las Vegas packs it in, I'm a little nervous. So
That's a good point. I hate when you make good points.
a little nervous with Christian McCaffrey, too. If they're trying to keep him healthy at the end of the season, they won't need him. He'll be a Jordan Mason game. Somebody that nobody's going to start. Any interest in Russell Wilson versus Kansas City? New head coach. 32 points, QB3 last time. Are you ready to ride with Russell Wilson?
No.
Imagine Russell Wilson winning you the championship. That'd be
Seen worse things.
poetic.
That would be something. Let me check something. I want to check something on the Brock Purdy front. They still can mathematically. I mean, they can jump up seeds. They can jump up positions. They're not going to get that number 1 spot, but they can jump up a bit, which I think will make a difference. And I say that because I don't want to put too much emphasis on the opponents and what they're doing and whether or not they're tanking and throwing in the towel, because Jarrett Stidham can come out and just clock manage and keep that game close. And they want to win.
They can't throw this game. They need something. They need that locker room is probably in shambles.
It is.
They need to go out there and try.
They've lost it. Yeah, I get individuals are trying to win money. Like they're trying to play for their next contracts and stuff. Yeah. But that's a lot of
it's something to keep. It's something to keep in the back of your mind. But like tonight, Dallas has a 10-6 lead going into halftime, and Josh Dobbs is the quarterback, and Hassan Haskins is the running back, and that team is still in a position where they could come back and win. So Dak has to come out. Dak has to perform in the second half, at least for the third quarter. So
because they're still going for the number 1 seed. So
correct.
Oof,
2 interceptions, Dak.
Dak sucks, dude. This is what I've been saying to sit him, but he did have a good game last week.
I've been sitting him for Kirk Cousins.
But Purdy, I think that's that argument. I think makes more. Yeah, I'm probably playing him, but that argument kind of makes more sense for him too, because it's like, what's the ceiling going to be? If they're ahead, they're just going to pound the ball, and if the game's close, it's going to be because Brock Purdy has a rookie game and throws 2 or 3 interceptions and keeps it close.
I think you have better options with Goff and Daniel Jones. I believe
Daniel Jones is probably still out there,
and Mike White.
And Mike White, like you said, 15%.
Yeah, Daniel Jones and Jared Goff like 65%. So
yeah,
I'd go Gino if Lockett plays too.
If Lockett plays, more confident in him for sure. All right, guys, running backs. Cam Akers, boom game. Can't expect the same thing, but he's a good RB2.
Yep.
8, 25, 21, and 1 was his last 4 games versus the Chargers. So they've been better against the run too, but they're still vulnerable there. Would you guys want him or Zonovan Knight against Seattle, who is like the second best matchup for running backs? But he has been disappointing as of late. But he's better with Mike White. He doesn't have Zach Wilson in there anymore. So that's the other thing.
Correct.
Rough. I just don't want to play him in my championship game.
I know.
I don't want to play Cam Akers either, though.
Say you lost Henry tonight, and you didn't go with Haskins, Danny. Would you go with Zonovan Knight or Cam Akers?
I'd go Zonovan Knight.
Yeah, I think I'll lean.
I mean, so many running backs this year have just gone off against Seattle. I think you got to go with him, especially if White's in there, can spread the field a little bit more.
Hopefully. How about Tyler Algier, guys? We talked about him in the preseason, a rookie to look out for. And finally, volume game, 2 games in a row with 15 points. So Arizona, not great against the run. They're letting up, I think, average 18 points to the running back position, something like that. So Algier, just straight volume play. Would you rather go the safe way there or Zonovan Knight?
Oof. I think I'd go Zonovan Knight, but I do like Tyler Algier for another 15 points.
Knight offers you more in the passing game than Algier. And I think that's the difference there.
Yep.
Think so. All right, guys. Tier 2, the tandems. J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards both averaging double-digit points or double-digit touches, not always points. Taking turns on being the most productive. Who you taking, J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards or nobody?
Dobbins. Who do they have this week?
I'd probably go Dobbins.
They had the Steelers.
Steelers.
They had the Steelers. That's the other thing. It's a tough matchup against the Steelers. I kind of don't want any of them, but
I'd rather not. But it depends on. Would you play Algier or Dobbins?
Algier against Arizona.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's going to offer the same in the game passing game too. I think if you ranked like Akers, Algier, Dobbins, and Zonovan Knight, Dobbins probably bottom of the list for me.
Cool.
Probably. Guys, I'm not trusting in the championship round. Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson, guys, tough against New England. With Teddy Bridgewater under center, definitely going to stop the run, even though they're hurting in the backfield right now. I'm not trusting these guys, even though Mostert did go off, and then he just sucked last week too. So don't touch him. Deonta Foreman and Chuba Hubbard, guys, for Carolina. Foreman, 145 total yards. Hubbard had 73 and a touchdown. They both had a couple receptions, though, and that was week 7 versus Tampa Bay. They did better last week. Don't have time to go through all the numbers, but they've been hot. Are you starting them against Tampa Bay? I say you could start both of them.
Oof.
You're looking at 45 touches to the running back position for Carolina. That's including Blackshear as well. But that volume play, I'm starting either one of them over Algier because I think they can get into.
I like Foreman better than Hubbard.
See, I like that. I like Hubbard passing out of the backfield against that defense, but Deonta destroyed him last time.
It's a great point though, because the Bucs have not been as good as the past against the run.
Against them for sure in week 7. So, and whoever wins this game, they might go and be the division leader and go into the playoffs. So amazing stuff.
Man.
This is desperation though in your running back 2 slot.
You could play them both. Yeah, I think you're right. It's like a poor man's Zeke Pollard, right?
It's a good point.
Say you've been dependent on Pollard. Yeah, Deonta Foreman, Hubbard, they're okay. All right, guys. Brian Robinson definitely playing without Antonio Gibson. Excuse me. I'm sitting DeAndre Swift and Williams, guys, versus Chicago. I don't care. Matchup, cool. Ooh. DeAndre Swift, he had like 6 touches last time he faced Chicago, but he had a touchdown. So that saved your day. He got you like 10 points. Jamal Williams coming off his injury. I'm not trusting
guys.
I
said this about Singletary. That's why it's my risky play. The past 4 games, Chicago 13-13. Well, at least 13 in the first 3, and then 22 last week to Singletary. The running backs have been running all over him the past 4 weeks in a row. I find it hard to believe that one of these running backs for Detroit isn't going to have a game.
All right, pick one. Who's going, Ryan? Who's going to be the best out of this 2?
Singletary?
No.
Swift or Williams.
Swift or Williams.
Sorry, zoned out there for a second. Swift. Just because I just think Williams is going to get the 7 or 8 carries and you got to hope that they're on the goal line for him to punch it in. And I don't want to live with that. I'd rather go PPR and hope for the best there.
Yeah, I'd rather go with Robinson or Foreman or Hubbard instead of those guys.
Yes.
But Dobbins and Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, I'm probably going to go Swift or Williams instead. All right. Any other running backs, or are we good?
No, we're golden.
All right. Wide receivers, tip drill guys. DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Over Mike Evans. Moore with Sam Darnold, 28% target share. Half the time he's targeted in the end zone from Darnold over everybody else there. And Mike Evans, guys, he's actually averaging more yards and receptions per game since Brady's got there the past 2 years. He's not getting those touchdowns. So what are you depending on? DJ Moore not goosing you, or Mike Evans getting in the end zone? What do you got?
I got DJ Moore.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go DJ Moore too. That passing attack for the Bucs just looks so bad.
It's so hard.
I'm going Mike Evans getting in the end zone. Touchdown guarantee. Put it on the board, Regan. Better points than DJ Moore.
Are you playing him?
I am.
No, are you calling touchdown?
All right.
Calling touchdown. He's going to have more points than DJ Moore. I need him to. Baby bias. Christian Kirk versus Houston over Drake London versus Arizona. Drake London coming on strong here. The number one target in that very low passing volume. But Christian Kirk.
Target share.
Christian Kirk versus Houston, guys. They've been shutting down. Well, keeping wide receivers tame. And if they only got Christian Kirk to worry about and Zay Jones, it's pretty easy. But I like Kirk over Zay if you got to pick between those two, because Christian Kirk out of the slot, the chances underneath Houston's more shutting down the outside guys. But Drake London averaging 87 yards per game since week 13. He's not getting in the end zone, though. I think Christian Kirk has more upside getting in the end zone.
Yeah, I like Christian Kirk.
Safer play might be Drake London, and I'm okay with that because he's got to be getting like what? I don't even know what the target share is. It's something absolutely absurd from Desmond Ridder.
I know it's 38% target share, but it's like over 10 targets out of his 16 passes or the first half. It was something like that. It was outrageous. I gotta look that up.
Yeah, and then the first game, I think he threw like 12 passes, and 8 of them went to London or something like that. So I'm okay with London for like PPR yardage, safe play. But you're not going to bench Christian Kirk right now. You just can't do it. It's such a good season, and he's going to be fine this game.
You could.
Agreed.
It's Houston.
I'm playing Kirk.
All right. Jahan Dotson versus Cleveland or Gabe Davis versus Cincinnati.
Jahan.
Dotson.
Yeah, we don't even really have to talk about this, right? Yeah. All right. Gabe Davis got lucky with the touchdown. It pissed me off last week. So he's been scoring. His wide receiver finishes, guys, are in the 30s and 60s. That's garbage. Alan Lazard versus Minnesota or Deontay Johnson at Baltimore. 5 games in a row of double-digit points for Deontay, guys, but he still has no touchdowns on the season. If Watson's out, I think it's Lazard. Watson's in. Yes. I'm going.
That's a
Deontay.
Great call. Yep.
Agreed. That's it.
Next.
Trying to read my notes here.
Arguments.
All right. End of argument. I'm sorry. Yeah, Lazard, he's very average, or he's a bust. You know, that's the name of Ryan's sex tape. Elijah Moore versus Seattle or Romeo Doubs without Watson. What are we doing? Elijah Moore with Mike White back. They need him.
Yeah.
Can I do neither?
Yeah, it would probably be a neither for me, but Elijah Moore in that situation.
I guess, yeah.
This is the bottom of the barrel.
Plus targets with Mike White in each of the games that Mike White started in. So yeah.
Gross.
All right. Can you guys think of a Hail Mary wide receiver play that you would do?
Isaiah Hodgins.
Isaiah Hodgins for the New York Giants. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Touchdown in 3 of the last 4 games. I think he had 9 targets last game. So, yep, he's mine.
Yeah,
honestly, mine PPR machine, I think it's going to be Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter Renfrow. Oof, that is desperate.
I really think,
Real deep.
man, I'm going to write that down for myself. It's the only thing that can, it's a tough one just because it's coming right off the head right now. But that's just somebody we've talked about that kind of like sparks something that I'm just like, just think of like, oh man, what the Stidham's like Stidham, what he's used to. And it's that Patriots offense. It's, it's the slot. He's going to get catches. I'm not saying he's going to have a crazy game, but I can picture, 10 points.
Okay.
8 targets.
Yeah, I'm on board with you, Reeks. I kind of had the same feeling. I'm like,
all right, cool.
You try not to like connect everything back to the Pats, but at the same time, I'm like, you can just see it. But Isaiah Hodgins had 12 targets last week, boys.
Mm-hmm.
So, just saying.
All right. My guy, Greg Dortch for Arizona. They're at Atlanta. Weaker passing. He's working out of the slot. Last game, 11 targets, 10 receptions, 98 yards. So before that, he was doing well before he got hurt. So I think they need him to move the chains and stuff. So I like him a lot as my desperation flex. Hail Mary play. If I'm projected to lose by double-digit points, throwing Greg Dortch in.
I hope you're not down by that much.
We'll see.
I like it.
I'm sitting Brandon Cooks, though. Jacksonville's the third best for outside receivers. Michael Pittman, Paris Campbell. Team is tanking. I don't care. I'm not playing them, Ryan. You can't make me do it.
Brandon Cooks has not practiced the past 2 days, not for injury purposes, but just because.
Yeah, he's probably shutting it down. Oh, all right. Chris Moore.
Chris Moore, I was going to say.
That's what I was going to say, but I thought it was too easy picking because you were going to say Brandon Cooks next.
All right. Nope, that's totally fine. Yeah. If Brandon Cooks is out, Chris Moore, I'm totally about it. Yep. Tight ends real quick. Cole Kmet, 65% roster. Detroit, great matchup. Tyler Conklin, if you're feeling frisky, 32% roster. Top 5 matchups for tight ends versus Seattle. And Juwan Johnson and Taysom Hill, guys, less than 50% rostered for both of them versus Philly. Oof. That's Juwan Johnson. He should get in the end zone.
Oof.
He just does it somehow, some way. And your boy, Regan, Tyler Higbee?
Yeah. Last week I played Taysom Hill, got me 11 points. I felt like I was a genius again for playing him 2 weeks in a row. And then Tyler Higbee on my bench got me 30 or 20 something or whatever it was. And I lost. So needless to say, Tyler Higbee is Baker Mayfield's favorite target. Past 2 weeks, I believe it's been 12. And
were you the big favorite before the week? Or were you kind of like, was it neck and neck?
It was neck and neck.
Because you got some advice from you fellas. They said the boom plays Higbee if you need it. Throw him in there.
Didn't feel it. It just didn't feel like that. I felt like Hill, because I had Juwan Johnson as well in this league. So Juwan Johnson, I was like, all right, I'm not going to play there. I think Taysom Hill is going to be the boom play, which they used him quite a bit.
He was a good play, yeah.
I felt great.
A bad play.
Totally good. It's just an anomaly with Higbee. Ryan, Darren Waller, if he doesn't have Carr, are we sitting him? Limited play time, possibly?
Yeah, I don't want much of this Raiders team, man. Like I really don't.
All right.
I want to stay away from it and pivot. I'd rather go, I think, probably Juwan Johnson at this point.
Ooh. All right.
Ooh,
I don't know. Just talking out my ass right
Thing
now.
is, though, you can get him right now compared.
What about Tyler Conklin or Waller?
Yeah, I probably will go Tyler Conklin. I think you don't know what's going to happen. Stidham could come out and throw the ball 12 times, and they could just run the. I mean, it's probably not going to happen because they're playing the Niners, but they're also trying to take, so they might just do that. I don't know. Shorten the game.
I'm afraid to play him. Needless to say.
Yeah, I would be too. What about the tight end 14 on the year? Would you like to play him, Regan?
14, no.
Why not?
Because if you're not in the top 10 to 8, I don't want to play you.
Yeah, Zach Ertz anyway. You don't want to play him.
You douche. Wow, 14 still though.
He's
Oh
still,
my god.
Wow.
still in the top 15, baby.
Oh man.
All right, defensive guys. The best one is the Giants. If you can get your hands on them, available. Well, best one's 49ers against the Vegas Raiders, but Giants versus Indy, Patriots versus Miami, if you can find them, and then Philly I saw was like 50% available against New Orleans. Yeah, they're at home. It might be some weathery game too, so make sure you keep an eye on that. And then, Kansas City against Denver. I'm okay starting them, even though they let up a lot of points. They had some defensive turnovers, so you can find them. Then Jacksonville at Houston. 3 games in a row for double-digit points for Jacksonville. Sneaky under the radar. Good fantasy defense. So don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. All right, guys. Any last words for sexy flexi time?
Good luck.
Good luck, Takers. You'll need it.
So bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Yep, it is playing these guys, and hopefully you play us when you join our league. Check us out, Just a Tip FFP. We'll share that stuff so you can join in just for fun, just to win a T-shirt, just so you can rep the tips on your chest and display to the world where you got such good looking bling for the championships you takers are taking. Hopefully. I don't know. I want a belt. I want a belt when I win. I better win. If I don't win, I might just quit this pod. I
can add it into my work league one if you want. Quite a few guys in there, and
all right,
I'll buy a belt. It's gonna be a Levi's though.
Sounds good. Oh, actually, Regan, I think we got another dynasty spot opening up. Maybe, possibly. I think I saw something going on. We'll see, unless he has a friend join him. But we'll let you know. Excited. I know. Well, you're already in a couple too, so his team's not that good. You don't want it. All right, guys. Do we want to get to the game predictions, or we got on long enough? It's only an hour and 60. Look at that record time, guys. Even with all the ranting,
I got them right here, Mac.
Please give me a break. Go.
All right, here we go. Cardinals at Atlanta. I got Atlanta.
I like Cardinals.
Colt McCoy back. I'm going Cardinals.
Okay. Panthers at Bucks.
Cliff Kingsbury playing for his job too. Panthers at Bucks. I'm going Bucks.
Yeah, I want Bucks as well. Although I'm going back and forth.
Well,
I forgot to set my picks tonight.
Oh no.
Chicago. I'm going Lions, baby. Lions. Let's go.
I got Bears in the healthy fields, but it sounds like that's up in the air, so I'll probably go Lions.
It's been up in the air the whole season, right?
Yes.
Browns at Commanders at Washington. Oh, yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Browns.
I'm going Washington.
Ooh, okay. That percentage-wise, you're right. Broncos at Chiefs.
Chiefs. Come on.
Chiefs.
Colts at Giants.
Giants.
Jaguars at Houston.
Jags.
Yeah.
I was going to keep going, but you're pausing.
Well, the problem is they aren't playing for anything. Same thing with the Titans tonight. The game that matters is next week.
Yeah, Peterson's already come out and said that every game matters. You win the game. And I'm playing all the guys. And I think they just want to keep the momentum going because they're so hot right now.
Absolutely. ETN, 200 yards. Let's go.
Mac, good one right here. Miami at New England.
Teddy Two Gloves, baby. Come in and be a hero for me.
What's your gut say?
My gut says New England for some reason.
Cool. Leave it
but
there.
I'm going
Saints,
with Miami.
Eagles. Saints at Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles, yeah.
Jets at Seattle. Jets.
Man. Depends if Lockett plays.
I want to go Seattle. That way next week's game with Miami won't be that meaningful.
Oh my God. Seems a lot of wishful thinking here as opposed to
it is. I'm just letting you know my thoughts. I'm going Seattle.
San Fran at Raiders.
San Fran.
Yep. Rams at Chargers.
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 Going
The Rams
Rams.
keep it up.
Going Rams.
Keep it
I'm not
up.
sure if Eckler is going to be fully healthy. I don't know.
Yeah.
A little nervous, guys.
Game of the week right here, guys. Vikings at Packers.
This is not the game of the week. I'm going Packers.
All right, fine. The Monday night game is the game of the week.
I went Vikings.
Vikings. Steelers at Ravens.
Ravens.
Going Steelers. I think they're going to steal it from.
They might. I hate you. All right, the real game of the week. Bills at Cincinnati.
Oh, my God.
I went Bills.
Bills.
Flip a coin.
Cincinnati. Going Cincy.
Oh. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be
a
a
tough
good
one.
one.
I like it.
It is.
What's the over-under on that one?
It's got to be 50. 51.
49.5.
49.5. All right. I think it might have dropped.
Fuck, Schultz scored.
No, but yes. A little bit too late, Schultz. A week too late. Thank you, though. Oh, my God.
All right, that's it.
That concludes our Week 17 finals there, takers. Just a tip, FFP. Download the episode, share tips with your friends and family. See what we got in store for you during the off season. Well, next couple weeks.
Yeah. Leftovers next week. I will, no matter what, if somebody's not on here with me, either way, I'll have a little quick one. Throw some just injury reports, maybe some weather and stuff like that.
Reed, you know what? We could do a little DFS next week.
Ooh, there you go.
Okay. I like it. There you go. A little bonus round.
Yeah, it would be an interesting DFS week because there'd be a lot of sitting, a lot of benching. Yeah,
I like it.
Lock those in early for the prices before they go up.
Good call. All right. Good here. Good
I
luck to
will
all the people
be-
that actually made it to the fucking championships.
Thank you. We appreciate it, Regan. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good luck to you, Ryan.
Drink my
I
sorrows away.
hope you win it.
Dude,
You
it
better
home.
win it. I gotta hear Mac. Oh. Sorry, Mac.
No. I'm facing Jerry, our gambling degenerate expert.
Oh, yeah,
Here I
You
want.
could actually probably set him another bet. Winner gets the. You can mess with him. He's addicted.
Okay.
that's
That's
new
true.
house.
Oh, you gotta bet like another game.
I do have my bet going with AJ Brown getting 250 yards more than Devontae Smith at season end. So AJ Brown, just keep that lead going. I think he's ahead by 300 yards. So let's go.
Nice.
I will be in Jamaica, fellas, for 2 weeks. So be drinking and eating and tanning my butt cheeks.
Buy me something nice, bro.
Well,
Don't.
What do you?
have a good time, man. Have a good time.
I just want to meet the bobsled team. That's all.
I'm pretty sure they're all passed.
And John Candy.
John Candy.
Too soon, dude. Too soon.
R.I.P.
You're the worst.
Mm.
Kind of like my fantasy teams.
Oh, you suck.